hanging out with us. Last segment of the evening. James L. West, Pat the Stat Guy, KDUS 1060 Studios, Phoenix. All right, so we're down to Kansas City. We're down to San Francisco. Interesting. San Francisco's going to play Kansas City's going to play a game. Both of them are going to play a playoff game in the Allegiant Raiders Stadium before Raiders do. Shout out to Burkhart for letting us know that.
It's a Fisher, actually.
Oh, Fisher, right
Jay
on.
Fish, yeah, out in Kansas
Joshes.
City. Yeah.
Right on. So, real quick before we get into NBA talk, let's finish this up. Obviously, because of the show and the history of the show, we've got, I think we both know who we're picking for the Super Bowl. But again, I got to go with, I'm just going to say it now, I got to go with the Niners strictly, I said this before. If Rooksy wasn't with us, I wouldn't be picking them, but this is for him.
Well, that's why
the heart pick.
I was presenting this to you
Yes.
over the break, that we've got to make two picks. Our pick with our head and the pick with our heart. Because I think if you listen to the show, if you're familiar with our show, you know who our heart pick is. I'm going with the 49ers for our brother, Ryan Rooks. And then also those two Arizona boys. I want to see Brock Purdy succeed, and I want to see Brandon Ayuk succeed. And Brock Purdy on his rookie contract making pennies compared to these other guys. I want to see him win a Super Bowl and get all the endorsements. You know what I mean? So with my heart, it's the 49ers. But my head, I can't lie, disagrees. So, and that's basically just based off of the fact that it's hard to go against Pat Mahomes. I did it for a little bit, right? He's got the experience. I do have a fun stat for you and anybody who's not a Cardinals fan, that Pat Mahomes, has now played in officially the same amount of playoff games as the Arizona Cardinals franchise, or I should say just the Cardinals franchise. It actually goes back to the 1947 Chicago Cardinals, so both of them now have 17 playoff game appearances.
My goodness.
This Super Bowl will be Pat Mahomes' 18th, and he will officially have played in more playoff games than the Cardinals franchise.
That's absurd. But winners win.
So, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there you go.
Winners win.
So that's why, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other stats I can put out there. The fact that it isn't just Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce now. You've got this defense. That's why my head is saying, go with the Chiefs. But I will be rooting for the 49ers.
Yeah, I just see the dynasty that should be becoming, there's one in every decade. It seems like there's a dynasty in every decade.
Right.
New England having the 2000s and the 2010s. You know what I mean? The 90s, they say the Cowboys, the 80s were the Niners, the 70s, the Steelers, 60s, the Packers, the 50s. I got to go back this far because I got to get the Browns in here. 50s, the Browns. I had to get it in. But we're seeing that. I just think it's written that way. It's like this is what football is going to see. I think you're right. And it's hard we're at that point now. You can't bet against Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes, just like couldn't bet against Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. And people did, including myself, I'm sure, time, especially as it got on later. But there's just something special about the way they just know how to win and get it done. But yes, I'd be pulling for the Niners and Rooksy's team. But boy, that Chiefs team, they just seem like they're meant to win. They're just this is meant to be for them.
Yeah.
The Hallmark movie's been written.
Yeah, you said
the confetti's got to fall.
Yeah.
So, anything else about this game so far? Because there's going to be so much. We're going to be in Vegas all next week,
right,
covering for media. We're going to go to the Monday night media thing, so we're going to be around the players. There's so much content and stuff to break down for the Super Bowl next week as well.
I think
so
we're
we don't have to
good
get
right
too
now,
much into it, especially because it's interesting that real quick that they decided to keep the players smart, very smart, not anywhere near the Strip. So the teams are staying in hotels that are literally 30 minutes away in Henderson. They're out in the boons, so they can't get in trouble.
Right.
You won't have fanfare, you won't have media unless they're going to go there for their specific times like we saw in the morning. So it's really interesting that they took that approach.
Right.
I'm sure they will find success in this, and in the future when they host teams, they'll be doing that as well. Try to keep
by the
them
way,
out of the riffraff.
I'm horrible with Roman numerals. What Super Bowl is this again?
Ooh.
Either way, it doesn't matter. You know how they say in the logo that they've been, kind of hinting at who's going to be in the Super Bowl.
Right.
I will say that is obviously killed because purple was in the logo and the Ravens didn't move on.
Hey, they were really close.
But 58. So Super Bowl 58.
Thank
so
you,
either way, I think we can move on to the NBA and some NBA